of worst to best discographies of my favorite bands. This time we're doing Pink Floyd. This video series is very limited. I can only do this with about 5 or 6 bands, so. But I really got deep into these 5 or 6 bands. Pink Floyd could eliminate live albums and greatest hits, unless there might be some spoilers. I don't want to spoil nothing, I mean. Alright, number 16. The last album they ever did. Endless River. Alright, if you collect Pink Floyd stuff, watch a whole bunch of YouTube videos, them from like the late 60s or early 70s where they're floundering around just making weird noises and stuff, that's a more modern version of this. This was like them just experimenting, making weird sounds when Rick Wright was still alive, when they were making Division Bell, and then they made this album of Leftovers. What, how many years ago was this? 2014. I can't remember anything other than just sound effects, and there was one, like, a song with lyrics and stuff at the end. It was, I listened to it once, I lost the disc, I left it in the car, in a rental car, and I never even bought the disc back, so I just got the box, neat box. 16. I don't hate it. Cool mood, weird music. If you ever listen to like Moonhead or something, look that up. It's kind of like that kind of junk, but you know. Alright. Number 15. Let me dig into the box. I got them all over here. I got my list down there. Where did it go? Obscured by Clouds. It's not bad. I like all the Pink Floyd albums. It's just never really listened. I like Free 4. That's the one that stands out. The rest of it, they're just kind of, there's just like a movie soundtrack, a movie nobody's ever saw, but it's not bad, it's just not great. You don't throw this on that often. I just like other stuff way better. Number 14. Adam Hart Mother. Does anybody actually listen to like Alan's Psychedelic Breakfast? Nobody. If was good. Not a great song. Adam Hart Mother, the whole thing, yeah, it's cool. But there's a better version of it out there on Pink Floyd the early years. The live version is shorter, doesn't have the orchestra behind them. It's just them jamming it out as a real band. I like that better. That's what I was gonna say. Sometimes I could throw in the greatest hits and best ofs and compilations. When, other than that, yeah, whatever. 13. More soundtrack. Another movie soundtrack they did to something we never saw. Then there was also Zabriskie Point, not on the list. I don't have that one, and there's only like 3 or 4 songs on it anyway. But it's cool. Slightly better like mood music and stuff than Obscured by Clouds. That's why this one is above and that one is below. The Nile song just kicks ass. That's like one of my favorite things on here. Cirrus Minor's kind of creepy. And then they got some, you know, jams. They did lots of just like psychedelic jams. They're cool sounding, but not exactly great songs. Where did we leave off? Speaking of weird sound effects and crap, Amagama, whatever the hell it is. I've never heard the band themselves say the name of this album out loud, and probably neither of you. The live side of this is what saves this. You got set the controls for the Heart of the Sun, careful with that axe, all that stuff. But then you got to listen to Rick Wright's horrible, weird piano synth thing and Nick Mason's weird drum sound effects, but Roger Waters did a weird sound effects song himself, and then he did like a folk song which was okay. The David Gilmour thing, The Narrow Way, was pretty good. So I'm gonna say this would have been last if it wasn't for the live album part. Actually no, even that's better than Endless River, sorry. Number 11. Ooh, this one's gonna piss people off. This one is. Where do I got it? Where is it in my box? Metal. But it's got Echoes on it. Echoes is like one of the best things they ever did. Yeah, but the other side sucks. Oh, well, one of these days. Come on, that's good. But Pillow Winds, Fearless, Xanthropé, Seamus, Barking Damn Dog Song, they still didn't know what the hell they were doing. They had 25 minutes of good material, and in the last 15 minutes they didn't know what the hell they were doing. I'm just being honest. It's my list. I'm sorry. Oh wait, I forgot the next one's really going to annoy you. I always thought this album was kind of boring. Repetitive. Wish You Were Here. We didn't need the second half of Shine On Crazy Diamond for another 15 minutes on the other side, alright? Live they only played on Delicate Sound of Thunder and Pulse, they only played the one half, and I was fine with it. They could have just edited it down to one 20-minute song. Jesus. I don't know, it's kind of boring. Wish You Were Here. Does anybody need to hear that song again? They've heard it a million times. It's always on the radio. Probably the most overplayed song on the radio. Welcome to the Machine I never really liked. Have a Cigar is kind of cool, but it's just this album is so low on the list because of it's played out, the most played out. Ugh. Somebody who plays like Wish You Were Here on an acoustic guitar at a party, you please tell them to shut up. Seriously. Where do we go from here? See, the list is going to get better. I might have annoyed you with that one, but I got some good ideas and thoughts on other ones. Saucer Full of Secrets. Alright, this is one of the only times I did like sound effects and weird stuff that actually paid off. This is kind of like, I'm still teetering around in Syd Barrett kind of world, but even though he's only on like one song, and is more concise. That's what I'll say. Roger Waters stepping up, doing Set the Controls for the Heart of the Sun. Corporal Clegg is a weird song. I love that. You know, the weird stuff will go higher on the list, because I haven't mentioned it yet. Alright, this one's where the real controversy comes in. A lot of their best early songs aren't on any regular official albums. So, this one's like a kind of got to split it up. Let me find them. Got to split this one up. You got to pick one of three. You want Arnold Layne, you want to see Emily play. It's not on a regular studio album, so best case scenario. Got to use Relics, which also has Careful With That Axe, Eugene, which mandatory you got to have. Although it was on Umagooma, but that was a live version. You want to hear the original studio version. Same deal with Works. And then you get another non-album song, Embryo. Another greatest hits. But, I'm going to say go with Pink Floyd Rockmasters. It's a greatest hits. It was a European import. It's got that. It's got Candy and a Current Bun. It's got Apples and Oranges. All the really good early stuff that you can't get on the regular albums. I kind of made my own version with all the rare tracks. That's my way of doing it, but for Pink Floyd's discography, it's fairly significant, and you don't need to buy, what was that other one? Those other freaking greatest hits. I buy all the greatest hits and I have all the albums, so what the hell is wrong with me? Oh yeah, they're all on this one, the early years, but this wasn't the one I was thinking of. Yeah, or you can use Echoes, it's got those songs too, and When the Tigers Broke Free, but they ended up throwing that on the final cut anyway, so this is kind of, if you have all the Pink Floyd albums, you don't need this one. I said I'd mention the greatest hits. There was also another one, Collection of Great Dance Songs, but that had like nothing relevant on it. I mean, they had a remake of Money, but that was, who cares? Alright, where are we now? Momentary Lapse of Reason is number 7. I like it. Some people don't like this. Sounds like a David Gilmour solo album. Better than a David Gilmour solo album because I found all those kind of boring. In fact, all of the band members' solo albums were all boring. They all needed each other. Roger Waters' solo albums. Mused to Death was only sort of good. And then On an Island, David Gilmour, that was absolutely terrible. So this is like a really good, if David Gilmour ever made a good solo album, because Nick Mason and Rick Ray aren't really on this. There's like studio musicians doing their work for them. Number 6. Most people don't even like this album. I like this album, Final Cut. Like I said, I didn't like when they put When the Tigers Broke Free on it because the first half of the album had a cool flow to it. Second half of the album, I don't know, Southampton Dock, all that stuff, Fletcher Memorial, that song sucks. But yeah, the first side of this was great. Then they remastered it. I had it on tape, and I looked for the non-remastered CD. I thought I bought it because it's EMI, all that other stuff. Turns out it was the version where they threw that on there, and I already had it on Echo's Greatest Hit, so I didn't need it. But now they have it on here, and it ruined the flow of the album, which I love the first side. Sounded like another side to the wall. All right, number 5. They're all winners from this point. They're all like the best of the best. Animals. Yes. I try not to listen to this one too much. I try and keep it fresh. Only listen to it maybe once a year or so like that. Throw it on for a couple of days. Just keep it fresh. Don't have like, oh yeah, this part's coming up. Because the songs are like 15 minutes. Like you don't remember exactly what comes next after next after next. Because there's so many parts. But that's why I love this album. Keep it fresh, don't overplay it, and this will be always in your top. All right, number 4. Number 4. Piper at the Gates of Dawn, love it. Every song on here is cool and weird. Interstellar Overdrive jams a little bit too long and weird, but starting to be Domini, Domine, whatever the hell it is, love that. That's another song that I don't know what. I think it's Domini. I think I heard David Gilmour say that actually out loud once. But, okay. Number 3. This is the one that came out when I was first getting into Pink Floyd. This was like the new album by a band I was getting into. It was like, oh, cool. Started listening at a great time. Division Bell. Yeah, what? Do I look like I'm 60? No, this one came out when I was a teenager. The only other, except for Endless River, the only one I got when it was current. And yeah, love this. This way better than Momentary Lapse of Reason because it sounds like Pink Floyd. It sounds like they actually play it on. You can hear Rick Wright on there. You can hear Nick Mason's playing on that. It sounds real. I did my own remix where I took the best songs off of this, the best songs off of Roger Waters' Amused to Death, get him in there, made the album even better. Although I only used like, 3 songs off of that album. Alright, we're down to the final 2. You know which are the 2 of the final 2. It's just which one is which. And then it's kind of not that much of a surprise. The Wall would be number 2. Because it's The Wall! The best concept album of all time. The best rock opera. This is way better than Tommy. Who else made one? Nostradamus from Judas Priest? No! Of course it's The Wall. It's got all the other half of the best songs they ever did. The best songs they ever did is on What's Coming Next. So, of course. And number 1. Because I had to buy like the 3rd different version of this coming out. Dark Side of the Moon. Was there any, like, really doubt it was going to be Dark Side of the Moon? You want to be like a weirdo, and you want to be like a hipster, say something else like, no, I really think the second half of the Moore soundtrack really top. No, you're not going to be. It's obvious. It's their biggest selling album because it's their best album. It's too obvious. Love this. Shit, if I get bored... I remember I got bored sitting in class back in high school and stuff. I would just like think of the album because I heard this so many times even back then that I could just like play it in my head. And try doing that when you're bored. Then I also did that thing where you play the album with the Wizard of Oz. It's more hype than reality on that. It's not that great. I mean, some things queue up, but you can do that with almost anything, and sometimes things will fall into place. But of course, it's Dark Side of the Moon, and I got the one with where they play it live, bonus tracks, bonus disc and stuff. There's like other versions where they have like 5 discs and stuff. Crap, you'll never listen to more than once. So don't save your money. Save your money on all that stuff. Bootleg it off of YouTube. They got ways of turning YouTube into MP3, so that's my list. Actually, well, let's talk about the live albums. We'll do that. We'll do a quick order of those. The best one has got to be The Wall live. It gives, if you're sick of listening to the regular Wall, listen to The Wall live. They do like the songs that get cut off. That's good. Then the second best one is probably Pulse. Pulse is really good because they do the entire Dark Side of the Moon. Like the first concert I ever went to was the Division Bell tours at Yankee Stadium. Blew me away. That's also why that album's so high up there too. Delicate Sound of Thunder is kind of like the same album as Pulse, but a few less songs, kind of not quite as good. So we're gonna throw a Saucer Full of Secrets before that, then that, and I got a million bootlegs. The best bootleg to look for is the Animals tour. The show's like 2.5 hours long. If you can find that on the internet, I suggest listening to that, downloading it. The one from Oakland, I think was what it was. And they play the entire Wish You Were Here. They play the entire Animals. If that was officially released, that would be the best live Pink Floyd album. But those are my picks. Try to cut this video down to under something, so there's going to be editing, but one take. How about that?